Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. Thank you once again for joining me. I'm doing something a little bit different today, and by different, it's kind of the same woodland theme, but I'm in a completely different spot to what I'd normally come to. This place is about 15 miles south of where I am usually. This is the Lickey Hills Country Park in Worcestershire. So I've come here to just have a completely different landscape to photograph, although it's still a woodland. But I'm going to see if I can find a few nice compositions while I'm here and take some interesting photos, because it is something that a place that I wouldn't normally come to. So I hope you enjoy this vlog. I think this is an ideal spot to set up my first shot of the day. Just behind me, you can see just over my shoulder, we've got this tree-lined path that runs through the woodland, which is really quite interesting. And on the one side you've got the trees just here, and they're all quite tall. I think the conifers, to be honest with you, very tall and slim, but they've got these huge leaf canopy at the top of the trees which shade out all the light. But then on the opposite side you've still got some more trees, but they're slightly thinner, less of a tree canopy, and you can see the lights coming through the space there at the back of the path. And as you walk along the path there are lots of little shafts of light coming through, and this is an obvious shot really. If you look up Lickey Hills on Google and you look at the images, you'll find that 90% of the top 2 or 3 lines of images will be this image here, because it's such a popular spot to take an image. So I'm going to set up here and take a shot now, but after I've done that I've got another shot that I've just seen at the side of the path just ahead of me, so I'm going to take that one as well, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Well, I wasn't all that sure about that shot. I didn't know whether to take a landscape or a portrait image of that one. I decided in the end to take a landscape first of all, but also to try and take a portrait and see which of those was going to be the best one. As I set up the portrait shot, what I realised was it was probably actually going to look a little bit better as a panorama. So I've done a bit of a panoramic sweep of the root system of those trees there, and all those trees running along the side of the path, which could be quite interesting. But there was an image on my way here that I was a lot more sure about, and it's just behind me here. Behind me you can see just off to the side of the path there's another kind of corridor of trees that run up a hill up there, and at the very bottom of that little corridor of trees running up the hill there's this tree here, and at the very base of the tree there's a yellow fern, and nothing says autumn like a yellow fern against the background of these trees and the kind of woodland detritus here. All of the I think the pines that have fallen off these trees, and all of the actual pine leaves, the big long thin leaves that are quite sharp when you touch them on the end, they are all lying on the ground here, all turned golden orange, and they make a nice interesting subject themselves. So the path itself is that golden orange path that runs up through the trees, and then you've got this very interesting yellow fern at the very bottom of the tree. So I'm going to set up and take this shot now and see what that looks like, but it's really this yellow fern that is leading us towards that path, and that's what caught my eye in the first place. Walking along this path earlier, this path just over my shoulder here, I noticed this little cutting just at the side of the path, with a few trees dotted around it. I say a few trees, quite a few trees actually, quite a lot. But as I turn round you'll notice there are several of these little wooden dens that have been built with the branches that have been cut from trees. There's one there, and then just behind me there's another one just here that I'm just standing right in front of, and then there are several more. There's one just over here somewhere, and there are various little attempts at making these little dens. I don't know why they are here, but I found one behind me which I really like. It's this one here, and just in the far corner here, just there, there's a little log as well that kind of points towards that tree, and then behind that, just here, where you can't actually see at the moment, just behind where I'm standing, there's another log that points right towards that tree perfectly, the tree in the middle of that little bunch of branches there. So those branches are leaning up against the tree, which is right in the middle of them, and it kind of creates this little den underneath the branches. There's a stump of wood just behind me, and you might just be able to see the top of it peeping out here, and that points right to the middle of that tree. So I'm going to set up here and try and take a shot of that, and then I'm going to head back to the start of the walk. There's just one small copse of trees right at the front of this woodland, and I kind of think it would look quite nice as a panorama, but I want to try and shoot that with the 70 to 300mm lens and zoom right into about 250, 300mm, and get nice and close on those trees. What that will do, it will cut out the very light sky above, and it will allow me to just focus in just on those trees perfectly. So I'm going to set up that shot now and take that, and I'll show you the image in just a minute. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.